Hey guys, so the question is, have I found the perfect BFS setup for the UK? I think so. I think I have, I really do. So look, I've bought a very, very expensive rod, but it is exactly what I wanted, and a very, very expensive reel. And again, it's exactly what I wanted. And together, I do believe that they are the best BFS setup for rivers in the UK. So the rod is the ILLEX Pepper, and it's the FINESSE Quest. This rod came to my attention through Bogdan, who has a great channel on YouTube, and he is a very, very accomplished lure angler, and he used the magic wand. The magic wand is now out of production, and the FINESSE Quest has come in its place. The reel was offered up to me as a good option by Jason Forster, who's a very experienced BFS angler in the UK, and that is the DAIWA Alpha's Air 2020 TW, and it's 8.6, so it's quite a fast reel. I have had several other BFS setups, including Surinoya and also Major Craft, both really nice options, but they had their flaws, bits and pieces which I wasn't happy about. I've also made my own BFS rod, but that is a completely different kettle of fish, because I designed that rod from the ground up to be a wading rod, so when I'm wading down the river, so it's much smaller, completely different bank. So let's start with the rod, shall we? Let's have a look at this. This is the ILLEX Pepper. It is, well, they say it's a fast action. I would say it's probably more like a moderate to fast action, but it's got a very fast recovery. So what that means is a fast action rod generally bends just at the tip, which it kind of does, but it also bends down through the blank as well. And a moderate action bends further down through the blank. So in my book, this feels more like a moderate to fast action, which is great for crankbaits and for loading up on those lighter lures. Really fast action rods, much more tippy, so you only get that bit of movement right in the very tip bit. And great rods again, but when it comes to really sort of small ultralight lures, they're not so good at loading up for pinging out those really light lures. Lengthwise, this rod is 6'11". It's 2 meters 10. Slightly longer than a lot of BFS rods, but I purposely chose that because I go fishing on the river, and I'm always trying to clear vegetation, especially in the summertime, on the bank. So that little bit of extra distance, a little bit of extra length, just helps you control the line over the vegetation and gives you a little bit extra distance when you're casting without compromising that kind of accuracy which you get with the shorter rods. It's rated from 2 to 12 grams. Now that's a really, really nice rating as well. I mean, let's be honest, when we're BFS fishing, yes, okay, there's plenty of BFS setups out there which can cast down to sub 1 gram, down to half a gram. Do I ever fish that kind of weight? The honest truth is very, very rarely. Very, very, very rarely. My sweet spot is around 3 grams. That's the kind of lightest I tend to go. Which means it's got enough weight to cast out and get some distance, but it doesn't sort of fall unnaturally through the water. So this going down to 2 grams is great. I've tried this on 3 gram crankbaits, absolutely pings them out. I mean, like, it's unnatural how well this casts. And then 12 grams, it's nice to be able to have that extra bit of weight which you can cast out. A lot of my BFS setups which I've had before have gone from 0.5 to 7 grams, but there's occasions when you want to put on a slightly heavier crankbait, and this will cover that off. It's a very, very nice blank. Partly it's almost like a one piece, so this is Japanese style where they kind of have the blank and then the reel section, so what you get is all the benefits of a one piece blank. The only thing which might put some people off is transport, because obviously you can't break it down like a multi-piece blank. All in all, the rod is lovely. When I've caught fish on it, very, very progressive taper. It didn't feel like it was overpowering the fish at all. Had plenty of cushioning in the tip for if a bigger fish lunges. So I felt quite comfortable, confident going down to 6 pound line. I mean, the rating on this is 3 to 8 pound line. I probably wouldn't be comfortable using 3 pound line on this rod, but 5 pound line, 6 pound line, absolutely no problems. So let's start from the back. So we've got a split grip, nicely formed. Again, this is kind of Japanese minimalist, if you like. EVA handle, it's got like a little button on the back, it's got a bit of bling on there. The colour coordination on this, or lack of colour in some respects, it's a kind of pearlescent white with gold accents on it. But really nice high density EVA handle, really comfortable. It's actually got a little bit of give on it, so it's not too hard, but very, very comfortable in the hand. We come up onto the second grip and it's slightly contoured, so there's a little bit of a palm swell there. I mean, to be honest, don't really use the back one very much, but this is where all the action happens. Then it tapers up. We've got a little trigger grip here, and then it's a bare blank under there, and the screw fitting sits under there like that, all in white and black. It's got a carbon washer here with gold trim, which is very nice. And then the finish is all white whipping with gold accents, gold accents in the thread, and the white whipping continues all the way up. In terms of hardware on here, obviously this kind of reel seat and screw section here is all ILLEX's own. It's not a Fuji one, but it really does lock the reel down. There's absolutely zero play there, which you'd expect of a rod of this value. Then we continue up, and we've basically got white whipping up here, and these are the absolute top of the range Fuji guide systems, which are the K guides. The K guides basically stop any kind of like tangle, so they're tangle free, and the inserts are, there used to be silicon carbide in there. That used to be the very top end. Not silicon carbide anymore. These are Torzite. Torzite is much thinner, much harder, and so harder wearing, so you use less material, less weight. In terms of the materials which these K guides are made out of, these are made out of titanium. Again, titanium is incredibly light and incredibly strong. Some people have different opinions on titanium. They say it's not as strong as steel, and it can flex a little bit and can be damaged a little bit more, so it's not as tough. I've never had any problems myself, but what it does is it produces an incredibly light rod. The other thing to mention about this rod is it's got 9 guides and 1 tip top, so 10 guides in total. Now that is quite important because I've had BFS rods before which were, including the major craft rod, which didn't have that many guides. They only had 8 guides, including a tip top. And what happens is when the rod is under tension, the line can actually contact with the blank and you can get line rub. Does it affect the fighting of the rod, or does it endanger a snap off? Probably doesn't, but when you're spending over a couple of £100 on a rod, you don't want to see the line sort of like dipping under the blank sometimes, which unfortunately that did happen with my Major Craft Speed style, and I was a bit disappointed with that. This rod doesn't, because the guides are so close to each other that it just they can't touch. So that is a very, very nice thing. Let's go on to the reel. Right, so this is the DAIWA Alpha's Air 2020. This is an incredibly nice reel, understated, very, very understated. It's quite high as well, but very, very comfortable in the hand. It's got that TW system, which is like basically, I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's got like a little wing system here which guides the line, and that's really nice. It's got the drag here. Sorry, not the. It's got the settings here for the actual resistance, and then it's got the drag star here, which is a carbon composite, so incredibly light again. The actual reel handles are a sort of softish rubber, not too soft actually, it's quite hard. Again, it's all very minimalist, but with this reel what you're getting is incredible performance. Now I can put this up against my Shimano CALCUTTA CONQUEST BFS, which is a beautiful reel and really top of the range. I mean, absolutely lovely reel. But what I've noticed with this reel is when I'm casting, I can release much later, and which means that my accuracy goes up and the distance which I get goes up as well. And in all honesty, I much prefer the look of the CALCUTTA CONQUEST. I mean, I'll be honest, I do, but performance wise this reel is better. It's it pains me to say that, but it actually is. And the one thing which I wish that this reel did have was a ratchet system. Oh, my heart is racing. I can't even explain. My heart is absolutely pounding at the moment. This is going to be a very big perch. This will be, oh, I mean, he's just cruising. Right, I've never ever had a perch like this, and I know it's not a pike, so unless I've caught a carp, so when you're fishing and you're catching bigger fish, so I've caught some nice sized fish on this already, and when you've got very little line, because I don't run very much line on this, I want to know when it's going out, and I can't when I'm playing this really. It's not very easy to know whether it's paying out line or not because it's silent. And like with the CALCUTTA CONQUEST, you'd hear the ratchet going, so you knew that it was paying out. With this, it's all very smooth, but it's all very silent. And yeah, if there was one thing which I'd love is a ratchet system on this, because that audible ratchet just lets you know where you are and whether you need to sort of like, you know, up your drag a little bit to stop being spooled, basically, because you could actually be spooled on a reel like this if you hooked into a big fish. Okay, so look, I've waffled on quite a long time about all of these. I do feel like this is the ultimate setup. So I've got a few little catches here. I had a few of my viewers ask about whether I've caught fish on it. Yes, I have caught fish on it. So here's a little video of me fishing for the first time with the ILLEX Pepper Finesse Quest and the DAIWA Alpha's Air TW 2020. Hey guys, okay, so I'm down at the local river and I'm out with my new rod. It's the ILLEX Finesse Quest. It's incredibly nice. I mean, it's a two-piece, but actually the second piece starts from here, so it's a very Japanese style, a handle and the main rod.
absolutely beautiful BFS rod, and I'm using the DAIWA Alpha's Air for the first time as well. Again, absolutely beautiful reel. We'll see how it goes. I'm using a Spro Ikaru, and I've replaced the trebles with singles, so that's what we got there. And I'm trying out this new trace. So this is a finesse trace, because I've been getting a lot of pike recently, so I thought better go on to some traces. So this is made by Flex on it, and it's basically a surgical steel wire. It's a 19 strand, incredibly thin. It's actually thinner than the main line itself. It's about 2.25 of a mil, and that's 14 pound finesse trace. And then we're using a 6 pound fluorocarbon leader. I'm up here now. This is running quite fast, but I'm up further up the river, and I'm just going to try a few little spots. I'm hoping for chub. I mean, that's the idea, hoping for chub, but who knows. Okay, I'm just going to go over to that slack over there. Oh man, that is a dream to cast, honestly. So this spot here always looks good, but I still haven't had a take out of here yet, but give it a go. I'm going to say something about this rod and reel. I've been using it. I've actually had a little session with it the other day, and I'm going to say that this is one of the it's one of the best balanced combinations I've ever owned, and I've owned some very expensive combos. I think this is possibly the best rod and reel, finesse rod and reel I've ever owned. It is that good. It casts, it's just effortless. I mean, it's just effortless. I can't really explain it any other way. Everything about this is nice, smooth, just seems to sort of ping things out exactly where I want them to go. Really nice. I didn't think I'd ever say this, but this reel is better than the CALCUTTA CONQUEST at the moment. That's my feeling. Honestly, that's how I feel about it. It's that good, and I love my CALCUTTA CONQUEST. Yes, we literally just had a big chub come and snaffle that right underneath our rod tip. I thought it was a trout at first. How cool is that? Right, let's get him. Let's get him. Oh, nice fish to catch. The first fish on this. Beauty. Hey guys, so look, we just caught a beautiful chub. He's probably about 3.5 pounds. He's 47 centimeters, and we just took him on the ILLEX Finesse Quest and a Spro Ikaru. And we've got, the thing which is great about this is we've got a wire leader on here, and I've always been a little bit worried about wire leaders affecting the takes in clear water, but this obviously worked really well. So really pleased. What a beautiful fish. Lovely fish. Okay, let's go and get him back. Lovely way to start. First fish on this rod. Lovely fish to christen it on. Okay, not 100% sure. I think this is a pike. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a pike. Yeah, it is a pike. Okay, luckily we've got a wire trace on. Didn't quite see how big he was. Feels quite solid. Not able to get him too much. Oh, he's not that big. Okay. On this kind of gear, it's amazing fun. They're so fit, these fish. There he is. He's not happy. Not happy. There we go. For such a small fish, he really gave a very good show of himself actually. I thought he could have been a fish twice the size he was. Anyway. Oh. Let's get him up. Hey guys, okay. So we caught a little pike. He's probably about 4 or 5 pounds. He's actually quite chunky, so he probably weighs a little bit more than he actually should do. And we took him on a little Salmo Hornet, so that's pretty good going. Okay, let's get him back.